We are 6 days away from WrestleMania. Let's go over some potential surprise returns and what match I think they could return in. Let's go. Let's start off this video with some hashtag girl power in Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was sidelined at WrestleMania last year with a finger injury after Rhea Ripley landed on her finger, and she's gotten surgery. She has been out for literally an entire year almost at this point. She returned at Evolution to be the special guest referee for Jade vs. Naomi, but that's not really a return. I'm talking about an in-ring return here. I think there was a chance she returned at Elimination Chamber. It's seeming like she's really close to returning. I think this one is very likely, and she is definitely much needed in WWE, especially on SmackDown. That's why I think the only real place she could return is during Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill or after the match, because Jade's title reign, it needs Bianca Belair, and ever since it started, we've been waiting for Bianca Belair because that's what everybody wants from this reign. However, I don't think it's necessarily guaranteed that she takes out only Jade Cargill. And the reason for that is because she has beef with Rhea Ripley. She's the one who got her injured. So that could be like a storyline. We could have, because they were feuding last year at WrestleMania. So in kayfabe, Bianca doesn't like Rhea or Jade. So I could see her returning and taking out both of them. But I think the more likely option is she just returns, and I don't think she's going to cost Jade the title. I think she's going to return after the match, after Jade retains, because you want that match to be for the title, and it would give a huge amount of momentum to Jade Cargill so that when Bianca Belair wins, it makes her look even better. And also kind of helps her reign, because she defeated Rhea effing Ripley. If I had to slap a percentage on this, I would probably say that there's about an 80% chance that Bianca Belair returns. Here we are again, predicting The Rock's return. But I think this time it's a little different because it makes a lot of sense for The Rock to return. Last time we saw him was Elimination Chamber 2025 when he turned John Cena heel and then said deuces and dipped, and hasn't been seen since. Okay. Roman Reigns made the call to all of the bloodline, and last time I checked, The Rock is in the bloodline. That you can do whatever you want to CM Punk. You have Roman's permission and everything. So, The Rock could return to take out CM Punk. But I think there's about a couple different ways he could come back about this. He could return, he could take out CM Punk and help Roman. He could return and take out Roman to set up WrestleMania's main event next year, assumingly, to start their feud so we finally get Rock versus Roman. And he could also return as an authority figure for TKO. We've seen that before. That's what the final boss is. He's a TKO executive dude who has all the power, and he's not going to do what anybody says because nobody's going to do anything about it. That's what the final boss is. He could literally return in either of the main events. It would make complete sense. We already know how much history he has with Cody Rhodes. Although apparently that was all just fucking retconned on the Raw Netflix premiere when they started being best buds for no reason. Who knows? Maybe since the final boss is always 20 steps ahead, maybe that was all part of the plan. Making Cody think that they're bestie boos now. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. But he could return and be on the side of Randy Orton and Pat McAfee and be like the leader of that faction. It would make sense for him to return in any of those, but also, he's not doing very good at Hollywood right now. He has not been doing the best. So I think that makes it even more likely he comes back, maybe even just for the paycheck. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love The Rock. I love his character. I love the final boss. It might be my favorite character that I've ever seen, almost. And The Rock is great. We saw it with WrestleMania 40. Every time he shows up, he does something amazing. He does something important that impacts the rest of WWE. You know, we saw it with almost every time he shows up. I won't say every time. WrestleMania 40 build up, the Elimination Chamber, John Cena heel turn. When The Rock shows up, something big happens. The issue comes after that when he isn't consistent enough to stay. I want The Rock, but if he's gonna come, pause, dip, and then just that sounded really bad. If he's gonna return and then set up a huge angle and then leave again, I don't want him back. But if he is going to return, he's gonna stay, he's gonna pay off the storyline, I will welcome him with open arms. I will give The Rock a 50% chance to return. That's being a bit generous, maybe, though. Kevin Owens, who was sidelined. The last time we saw him, he was sidelined with a neck injury. The last time we saw him was Elimination Chamber in his unsanctioned match with Sami Zayn. He got neck surgery, and he didn't get it till like June or July last year, which the recovery time for that, I don't know why they waited. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. I'm sure there's some reason, but I don't know why they waited, but they did. It happened in like June or July of something of last year, the surgery, which the recovery time is like a year to a year, or a year and a half to like 2 years, I think. And he's been showing up on WWE related stuff a lot lately, but not on actual WWE TV. Of course, it is possible that he just never returns, which would be really sad, but we have to accept that as a possibility. I am a wishful thinker, though, and I think he could return here, but he's not going to get physical. He's not going to return and attack someone. That's not what's going to happen. If Kevin Owens does return, he is going to be a manager, an authority figure, of the voice of someone. It's not going to be to get physical. There's no way he's ready for that. If he returns and like reveals he was a part of the Randy Orton heel turn too, maybe he comes back, faces off with Randy or something, and then shakes his hand after he wins, maybe, to, show like, hey, I know we had problems in the past, and I know we had this blood feud going into WrestleMania. It never actually ended up happening, though, and now we've had time to cool off, and now we kind of see eye to eye. We both hate Cody Rhodes. We both went low, doing everything we needed to try and beat Cody Rhodes. I wasn't able to do it, but you were, and I am proud of you for it, and they can reunite and be friends. I think that would be awesome, and he's set to undergo a reevaluation this summer, so a SummerSlam return is probably more likely than this. It's still not very likely, but I'm a wishful thinker. This is really the only place I can see him returning if he does return on this card. It doesn't make sense for him to return anywhere else. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would probably give it maybe a 10% chance. Okay, this is one that I am so fucking tired of seeing. Vince McMahon is not returning to WWE. I'm so tired of seeing people predict this. He's not coming back. I'm so sorry you have to see this hideous face, by the way. But just, if you keep predicting that Vince McMahon's going to return, stop. He's not coming back. Accept it. He is a horrible booker and a horrible person. Nobody wants to see 85-year-old Vince McMahon come back to the WWE. Braun Breaker, who had a hernia about a month and a half ago, I believe, and he it was looking like he might return a few weeks before WrestleMania to set up his feud with Seth Rollins. That ended up not happening because reportedly WWE didn't want to rush the build between them two, which I get. So we ended up getting Seth Rollins versus Gunnar. However, Braun Breaker is medically cleared. Whether or not he already returned, he's medically cleared. He's done his rehabbing. He's got back in the ring. He is ready to go. He is good to go. So, I think it is extremely likely that we get Braun Breaker back here, and the only real place I think he can return is Seth Rollins versus Gunther. It doesn't make any sense for him to return in any other match, or after any other match. Should come back, spear Seth Rollins, destroy him, and then that can give Gunnar the win. And, keep his stupid little undefeated streak. Mr. Career Killer who doesn't always kill careers. And that can obviously set up the feud for Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I don't know when the feud would culminate. If it would be Clash in Italy. No, that's too soon. But SummerSlam. I'm not exactly sure. But I think this might be even more likely than... You know what? I'm going to just say it's a 100% chance. This is more likely than Bianca Belair. 100% chance for Braun Breaker to return, I think. I mean, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't have him return. Started the video with girl power. Let's end it with girl power. Paige, aka Saraya, hasn't been in WWE for about 4 years now. And I think she would fit great in the current day women's division. She was mostly a part of the Divas era back when women still really didn't get the spotlight that they deserve. Hell, they still don't get it today. But I think Paige would be a great addition back to WWE, and I think she would fit great in like the women's mid-card division, especially maybe the women's US Championship division that needs stars. Maybe she could be the next women's Intercontinental Champion, but if you put her as a main eventer, I definitely don't think anyone would complain about that either. I got 2 potential matches she could return at here. Either AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maybe attacking the winner after the match and, becoming the next Intercontinental Champion. And the other one is Stephanie Vaquero versus Liv Morgan. Again, I don't think anybody would complain if you put her in the women's world title scene. I can't really say too much about Paige because I just really don't know that much about her or what she did, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I think either of these matches would be a great place for her to return, and I would be interested to see what she can do. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you thought I missed anyone. Let me know who you think could potentially return, if you disagree with me, whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and